In today's day and age, marketing trends shift faster than you can say pivot. In such a scenario, staying relevant is not just a challenge, it is a survival skill. Marketing nowadays feels like solving a puzzle. One day it's AI, the next day it's authenticity, and somewhere in between you're figuring out if my campaign should have a meme, a manifesto, or both. For professionals in the game, the question isn't what works, it's what works right now and what's next. Today, we have with us someone who is not just observing these shifts, but also shaping them. Rajat Abbi, Vice President Marketing at Schneider Electric India, has built his career at the intersection of brand strategy, business impact, and digital transformation. Let's take a deep dive into the mind of a marketer who is blending global insights with local relevance. Welcome, Rajat.
Thank you, Lalit, for having me here.
With so much buzz and bustle in the realm of marketing, I want to know what keeps you and Schneider Electric India on your toes and up at night.
Yeah, once again, thank you for having me here. I think the world of marketing is going through a dramatic shift. Yeah, we are living in the age of AI where artificial intelligence is going to transform the realm of marketing. The transformation has already started, but what keeps me awake at night also is the changing consumer and customer preferences. Customers and consumers of today are extremely demanding. They have always been demanding, but what we see as a shift is they are very precise now in terms of what they want.
I mean, yes, I agree that dynamicity has, of course, proliferated with time. And because you have had such a long journey, it's over 2 decades of experience. How has your perspective on marketing evolved from the early days when you were working with consumer brands to now leading marketing at a global energy and, an automation giant?
The role of marketing over the last 2 decades, if I have to look back 20 years of my professional career, in the early days, the role of marketing was more to create awareness for a company, for a brand. Now the role of marketing is not just about awareness, it is about partnering with businesses to drive growth. Yeah, so the number one goal of marketing in today's world is to drive growth for business, to drive growth for company. Then we also see a strong shift in marketing becoming one of the most important functions and lever of forward-looking thinking. Yeah, so while we are looking at what type of solutions we need to provide to our consumers and customers today, we also need to be looking at what is happening 2 years, 3 years down the line. So marketing is one of the most important function that brings together the consumer insight, the trends which are happening in the market, coordinating with various functions and businesses within the organization, and really playing the role of an active function in shaping the narrative of tomorrow. Now, another thing which I see happening is the shift between B2B and B2C is going away. So there is nothing called as B2B marketing and B2C marketing. Yeah, the B2B and there always used to be a divide saying B2B marketing happens in a certain way, B2C happens in a certain way. Now there is one marketing. There is one marketing. You need to understand the pulse of the market. You need to understand the pulse of the customer. But you also need to understand broadly what is happening in the external environment and then create things which are meaningful for that customer or a set of customers which add value to that consumer or customer, because time is limited, choices are multiple. Those companies, those brands are doing well or will do well who offer the right solution to the right target audience at the right time, but with a unique value proposition.
Okay, my next question is something that is kind of a nightmare for a lot of CMOs. I mean, in today's age where so much personalization and targeting is there, how does CMOs prove marketing to the CEOs, to the leadership of an organization?
So all marketeers have to think business first. Yeah, extremely critical when you start thinking about any marketing campaign, whether it is a big campaign or let's say a business as usual. You need to think about what impact it is going to create for the company. Yeah, in terms of, it could be an impact in terms of revenue, it could be impact in terms of accelerated pipeline, profitability. Similarly, what impact it will create on the consumer and customer. Will the consumer and customer love your brand? Because in the age of AI, those brands will do well which have purpose. Yeah, purpose driven marketing is going to become extremely critical. In AI can change technology, but the strategy will still come from humans. So what will be critical is for brands to demonstrate purpose driven approach, and their marketing can play a big role. And similarly, beyond driving commercial impact and building the brand, the third aspect is what is the largest footprint marketing has to leave on common people. Because authentic marketing is also very important in this age of AI and technology. Those companies and brands will stand who are doing authentic marketing, because you cannot in today's world fool a consumer or a customer, because information is available on fingertips. Before you start conveying anything about a product or a solution, the consumer can do a research and counter question you. Yeah, so that becomes extremely critical for marketer to ensure that what to do is extremely critical, but marketers also have to ensure what not to do. Yeah, because one wrong commitment, one wrong messaging which is not authentic can jeopardize your brand, jeopardize your company, and therefore the role of marketer is becoming extremely complex, but at the same time very interesting.
I have a question around the curriculum. From your perspective, if you could redesign a marketing MBA course for today's talent, what would you add on and what would you subtract?
Very important, and I think MBA colleges or any other college becomes very important, because they are the I would say that's the first level of training you are getting. Even before you are starting your career, education becomes extremely important, because in the current age of AI, you need to really spend a lot of time in thinking. You need to understand the what, how deeply before you start acting on it. So if I was to propose, and I really don't know if those things are already there, because I left my MBA college almost 20 years back, and I'm sure in 20 years many changes would have happened. But one, obviously, deep courses around AI. Yeah, that should be something which has to be very deeply built into all MBA college curriculums. Second thing is how to do marketing which is responsible marketing, purpose driven marketing, because marketing everyone can do. Everyone is doing marketing, a small company, a big company, a mid-sized company. But how to do purpose driven marketing, how to do authentic marketing, so that you not only build great brands and great companies, but you build trust and connection for a lifetime, is something which should be there as a curriculum. Then I would say sustainability no longer is an option. Yeah, you know, Schneider Electric is the world's #1 sustainable company, most sustainable company. And we are very proud of the work the organization has done in the area of sustainability. We walk the talk. We don't talk about sustainability, we demonstrate sustainability through our technology and our solutions. Even our own factory, our smart factories where we use these solutions. So there should also be a special focus on ensuring that marketeers of tomorrow or students of tomorrow understand sustainability, understand what role they have to play in executing a very fast paced strategy to achieve the sustainability goals.
So it's time to mention the biggest elephant in every room today, artificial intelligence. I want to know, what are the mantras to stay relevant in the age of Gen AI?
I would say the first thing is your willingness to learn. That is extremely critical. So you need to take out time to learn. Yeah, you need to train because the technology is changing so fast. So many AI tools are available. Within marketing, there are so many AI tools available. So you need to 100% find time to first know these tools, how these tools work, what difference these tools can bring to your life in terms of productivity, better creativity, yeah, better campaigns. But above all, you should also be willing to see what the future holds. So that's the number one thing I would say. Second, AI is not an option. Third, I would say is not only you have to also inculcate this behavior. If you are leading teams, you have to inculcate this behavior in your teams. And there is no age to learn or unlearn. Yeah, because sometimes there is also a wrong perception that training and learning is for only people who have just started their career. I think everyone needs to learn. A simple analogy which I have to use is, if you look at engineers, every couple of years there is a new language which comes. All the time software engineers have to learn new long languages, new tools, etc. Same is now the case with marketeers. So many tools are coming. You need to find time to learn. You need to find time to connect with fellow marketeers, with I would say specialists of some of these offerings, and ensure that you are learning new tools, and then you are carefully working with your organizations, etc., to ensure that the right tools are being used in your respective companies or brands.
So specific to marketers, I mean, I feel like we talk a lot about Gen AI, but there is this underrated champion of this world, which is agentic AI, right? And it's basically changing the way marketers are thinking today. It's not just automating stuff; it is also acting on behalf of them. How do you see this? What does this mean for the marketing leadership and the overall decision making that happens in an organization?
See, I would say that first the marketeer has to be clear in terms of what they want to achieve, because AI end of the day is a medium to reach to a goal. AI is not the goal. The goal should be very clear in your mind, that what goal you are trying to achieve, what problem you are trying to solve. AI is going to enable you in solving that problem in a more easier and faster way. But the problem has to be defined by you. Are you trying to provide a solution which is more differentiated? Are you trying to offer a solution which is going to transform a consumer's life? Are you trying to provide a solution which is going to, let's say, boost the productivity significantly? So if marketeer is clear in terms of what problem they are trying to solve, then AI can be the best buddy which you can have. So I see AI as the best buddy. Now, in the current form, buddies and mentors and coaches are all physical. In the coming years, you will see that AI, yeah, and your AI apps, etc., they will be best buddies of marketeers. There will be many buddies. AI will be your buddies, but at the same time, you should be clear how you want to use your buddy, how you want to use AI as a mentor.
Actually, that's a problem, because I feel like although artificial intelligence is making our work smarter, but it's making us dumber. And it's very important to use it as a tool rather than just, letting that tool drive your entire planning and work and creativity and everything.
Just to take, and I think it is good that AI is coming, because AI is going to make marketeers spend more time in thinking and strategizing. Lot of time of marketeers goes sometimes in doing operational things, which is something AI is going to manage very seamlessly and beautifully. Which means that marketeers like me and you can spend more time thinking, which is good, which is good.
Okay. So moving on. Let's talk about the Gen Zs, the young people who are going to drive the economy now. And the thing with these young audiences is that they trust creators more than corporations, right? And it's going to be very interesting from you to know that how is Schneider Electric navigating this shift? Where especially in a category which was traditionally seen as a B2B and tech heavy segment. How are you planning to use creators and the new media?
So, the entire category has also undergone a change. Marketing tactics which are being used now are very different than what used to be used earlier. So, we always, as any strong brand, leverage influencers to communicate a story. But for us, influencers are not always third party influencers. Influencers are also partners. Influencers are also real customers who are using our technology and solutions. So, for example, our solutions are being used across the length and breadth of the country. Yeah, right from providing solutions for infrastructure to industry to buildings, data centers, homes, and more. Our solutions reach to very target audience. We talk to consumers, we talk to customers, we talk to panel builders, we talk to distributors, we talk to electricians, we talk to retailers. So everyone from a CEO to an electrician and everyone in between are the stakeholders which we engage. So we as a brand always leverage on the strong insights given by real influencers. So people who are using solutions, people who are embracing sustainability, people who are demonstrating digitization in their operations, consumers who are making their homes more smarter, factories which are becoming more digitized and automated. We pick those examples. Yeah, for example, Capgemini. So Capgemini uses Schneider Electric solutions across their campuses in India, and they have digitized all their operations, and they have a unified command center where they can monitor and control the entire electrical system of all their campuses and manage things really well. So those are some real example of the kind of influencers which we are using, and we will continue on this journey of using real influencers to disseminate the messaging around our products and solutions.
Also, I mean, it's a wondrous thing that how you be persistent in your messaging where you are functioning across the market, right? Whether it's B2B or B2C. But I want to focus specifically on the B2C because you guys have recently started that journey. What are some surprising insights that you found about the Indian consumers when marketing B2C products in the energy management and smart homes category?
Now, what we have found is that today is the era or age of innovations, meaningful innovations. Let me put it this way. But sometimes people in India think that innovations are very complex to adopt. That if I have to go for an innovative offer or a solution, it would be very difficult to adopt. That was the first insight when we started this journey of accelerating our play in the home electricals, a part of the market. That was one. Second was, do I need to focus on it right now, or should I wait for others to embrace it and then I will learn from others, and then probably I will go and do what others are doing. The third interesting insight also which came across the way was, are these solutions competitive? Are they so expensive and so costly that I would not be able to ever buy them? Yeah, so we recently rolled out a campaign, Bring Home the Smart. Yeah, that campaign was under our Schneider Electric brand. We picked 3 innovative offers which were developed keeping in mind the unique needs of the Indian market. Industry's first modular switch with a built-in air quality indicator, Yeah, because today we are wanting our families, ourselves to lead a more healthy and a more safer life. So Milu Zeta range of switches with air quality indicator, smart home automation, which is a nascent market in India, but we see strong progress being projected with rising disposable incomes in India. We see more and more consumers coming forward and wanting to automate their homes. So we launched Visor 2.0 smart home automation, a solution, and then another interesting product we launched was Milu Zeta switches with motion sensing LED foot lamps. Now, India is a young country. Yeah, large chunk of India's population is young. You need to ensure that the younger population is also safe. So if you are coming back to your house, sometimes you are walking in the night in your house. If you are not using solutions which make your environment safe, then there is a problem. So this campaign was rolled out. The objective was very simple. We want to harp upon these 3 innovative offerings. We want to go to a broad target audience, whether it was end consumers, whether it was electricians, retailers or other stakeholders, and really talk about that technology is, the innovation is meaningful innovation, but it is plug and play. It is very easy to adopt. We actually used for the first time 2 children to communicate a message, because that was also something which was unique in our campaign. We use very young children to communicate message around something which sometimes is perceived to be complex. Another interesting campaign we have done recently is powering a non-stop India campaign, which is from our Lauritz Knudsen brand, which is the other brand we have in India. You know, we have a 2 brand, 2 sales strategy in India. Again, Lauritz Knudsen comes with a 70-year legacy of playing a very strong role in India's progress towards becoming Atmanirbhar. Solutions which are very meaningful for farmers in the agri segment, solutions which are very, very useful for industries, for buildings, infra and more. And the objective of that campaign also was, and this campaign has just kicked off, so it's still running, is to talk about the strong demonstration we have done over the last 70 years of understanding the unique needs of Indian consumers and customers, and how through our technologically advanced solutions, but meaningful solutions, we are helping India and Indians move non-stop. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, how you've described it, it makes me want to see the campaign, and I'm sure our viewers would also want to see that campaign. So, if we can just play the campaign for
नॉनस्टॉप
them.
इंडिया का मतलब पता है? हमेशा कोई भी इमरजेंसी के लिए रेडी रहना।
नॉनस्टॉप मतलब फैक्ट्री हो या लैब, कोई डाउन टाइम नहीं।
और हर चीज स्मूथली रन करना, लैंडिंग हो या टेक ऑफ। और यहां इंडिया के फेवरेट गेम को हमेशा जगमगाना।
और ये इंडिया को नॉन स्टॉप रखे। लॉरिट्स Knudsen, India's favorite switchgear brand.
Lovely campaign, Rajat. If you can just briefly talk about what is the media mix like for this particular campaign, and where does CTV lie in your strategy?
So, Lalit, as I mentioned, media mix will always be we always use integrated approach. A good combination of all type of marketing touch points will be used to communicate or to reach to our target audience through this campaign. Connected TV, to your other aspect around connected TV adoption and consumption in India is growing at a rapid pace. We are also there to be present on these connected TV channels. Like for example, when this year, you know, we were the principal partners of the Mumbai Indians team, and we did an integrated campaign around IPL. So we were present on connected TV. Even on the Schneider side, when we are executing campaigns for our target audience, B2C, B2B, We make good use of connected TV as a platform, and we see connected TV as a very, very important pillar of the media planning which is happening these days. So many connected TV channels are coming and platforms are coming, and we make the right choice to select the right platform based on the objective of the campaign and the type of product or solution we are planning to advertise. And we we are very optimistic that this platform will continue to rise, while we also are equally focused on linear TV, digital and other platforms like print, etc., radio, etc., outdoor. But connected TV is something which we think will continue to grow in India, and we will continue to actively leverage this as part of our marketing planning.
Will it be possible for you to quantify like how much of it will be digital, how much of it will be CTV, linear TV?
Very difficult, and that is what makes today's marketing very interesting. Gone are the days when you used to say that X percentage has to be digital, Y percentage has to be ATL, and Z percentage has to be a BTL. Because now things are changing very rapidly. So every campaign is very unique, and what you are trying to achieve in your campaign, and campaigns themselves are not becoming one or two campaigns. There are big campaigns, then there are small micro campaigns. So it will not be possible for me to exactly or precisely quantify how much will go on a particular type of touch point.
Well, I agree. I mean, in a age of always on marketing, how do you really categorize or, build pillars around between two verticals? I think some very lovely insights. And now we move to the section which I'm very excited about. And this is called This or That. It's very simple. I will give you two options. It's either A or B. And it's basically to kind of figure out how does a marketer think, So if we can just start. So this or that is one unforgettable campaign or 10 consistent ones.
10 consistent ones.
Being first to market or doing it better than the rest.
Both. Because it depends in which trajectory you are currently in. There are some areas where you always want to be the first, but there are some areas where you want somebody else to try, learn from what they have done good, what they have not done good, and improve.
Okay. 5% market share growth or 15% brand recall jump.
Both are critical, and I would be wrong if I select one out of the two, because I would link this to the question which you asked me at the start of this conversation. And the role of the marketeer is to create both brand and business impact. So market share is also very critical, and brand awareness and brand metrics are also equally important. So I would say both are critical, and the mindset has to be both. It cannot be this versus the other.
Okay, an unsaid rule, you are running out of both responses. You're not allowed to have more than 3. So you're down to one last. Standalone brand identity or master brand led identity?
Standalone, because as I mentioned, we are a house of brands. We have multiple brands. We have Schneider, we have Lauritz-Knudsen, we have Luminous, we have Aviva, so on and so forth. Each brand has their own identity, and each brand has to create their own trajectory.
Real stories or brand fiction?
Real stories, and I'm very proud to work for a company which not only believes in real stories but also demonstrate real examples. So always real stories.
Okay. AI to analyze or AI to generate?
I will use the third last option, both, because AI, again, I think if you use AI for one of the two, you will miss the bus. You need to use AI for both, but the percentage of usage might vary. At some places the analysis part might be more, at some places the creation part might be more, but I would have to choose both.
I don't know. There are some tricky ones coming, Rajat. You should have saved that one last both.
Okay.
But okay, working with creators or becoming one yourself?
Working with creators.
Okay. Risky yet creative planning or safe media planning?
Risky, because I believe that there has to be some risk which has to be taken to do transformational stuff. If you don't take risk, you will not be able to do transformational things.
Targeting the middle or targeting the emerging affluent?
I would say focusing on the emerging affluent, because people who are emerging, and there are millions of Indians which are now getting into the affluent category who were earlier in the middle class. So I would pick that.
Okay. And the last one is top-down vision or bottom-up innovation?
Bottom-up innovation, we are living in a time when democratic thinking is extremely critical to do transformational stuff. So it has to be more people working together on something rather than only one individual driving the narrative.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rajat, for joining us and sharing not just insights. I think you have shared some very relevant and real perspectives as well. So thank you once again, and looking forward to meet you again, have another conversation like this.
Thank you, Lalit. Once again, thank you for having me. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
So this was Rajat Abbi on how to keep things relevant, real, and responsible. Whether you're a startup founder, marketer, a student, or someone who is just curious about how brands shape the world around us, there was something very universal about the conversation that happened today. Because marketing at its core is not just about selling products. It's about telling stories and building trust. So if you like the conversation, do share it with a friend. Or better yet, with someone who still thinks that marketing is just about making ads. Until then, stay sharp, stay curious, and follow this space for more such conversations. See you in the next one.